What's up, guys? It's City MMA. Your boy Bryson here with
Joey.
And today we're breaking down UFC Fight Night, Aljamain Sterling versus Yusuf Zalal. Huge featherweight matchup that will maybe decide, who fights for the belt next after, obviously, Mosvar. And hey, guys, we bounced back and we hit for you. And my God, if you played the KO in round one like you did, I bet $200. I won a K. Joey won around $600 too. And we're smashing it now. So we're about to win back-to-back. I feel real good about this card. And let's go! Woo! All right, guys. We got 2 prelims we're breaking down and a 6-fight main card. The first prelim we got tonight is a strawweight women's matchup between Talita Alencar and Julia Pilastri. Pilastri's coming in at minus 225 and Alencar's plus 185. Pilastri will be the first leg of our parlay at minus 225. She got some real big power in her hands. She fought Carolina Kolajczyk, and then she also fought Lupi Godinez, lost a decision. Lupi won 1 and 2, but Pilastri dominated the third. So I know this girl got cardio. She has a decent get-up game, but bad takedown defense. But she lands 6.40 significant strikes per minute on 54% significant strike accuracy. Bad takedown defense at 60%, like I was saying, but she has good defensive grappling. I mean, if a girl like Lupi's not finishing her on the ground, I doubt a 35-year-old Talita Alencar is, who also has a 58-inch reach to Julia's 64. Julia also has an excellent gas tank, like I was saying, on her, and puts a fast pace on you, has great pressure. Alencar, very solid top control. She's a jiu-jitsu specialist, has been in plenty of grappling tournaments and good. She came into MMA late. She's 7-1-1 to Julia's 14-5, and I think Pilastri has a lot more experience here, especially at the top, fighting someone like Lupi, and then Carolina as well. And I think she's going to get the knockout either late or early, and I think just playing her money line at minus 225 is a good look. Plus, Alencar has 26% takedown accuracy. I think she's going to struggle here. And Pilastri knows what this girl's coming in with. Who you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, it's going to be a fun one. But like Bryce had said on the Alencar side, with the 26% takedown accuracy and a constant chain wrestler, I mean, she does struggle to find her range with only a 58% or 58-inch, reach advantage. Her takedown defense is not good either. Poor takedown defense for Alencar at 66%. And she does tend to fade a little compared to Pilastri. Pilastri has a great pace, great gas tank, like Bryson said. She also has a 57% significant strike defense. And she has landed 80-plus significant strikes in her last 3, guys. It's going to be pretty hard for Alencar to, put a pace on her like Pilastri is. And she's also never been finished on the Pilastri side. So I'm going to take Pilastri moneyline here, and Pilastri KO probably late. I'm going to say round 3. All right, guys, the last prelim we're breaking down, and the last prelim of the evening is a middleweight matchup between Rodolfo Vieira and Eric Meconico. Vieira at a minus 250 favorite, and Meconico at a plus 200 dog. Guys, it's going to be a really fun fight. Vieira, he has elite BJJ. And he's fought some pretty good guys as far as like Tresean Gore. We saw what he did to Bakoyev his last fight at minus 700, which is pretty crazy. He's constantly going to the chain wrestling and lands 2.70 takedowns per 15 minutes on a 21% takedown accuracy. On the Meconico side, he shows to have a good clinch game and decent basic boxing, but he does leave his chin super high in the air at times. Vieira, I think he has great takedown defense at 75%, and I don't see a way for Meconico to really win here. I'm taking Vieira moneyline and maybe Vieira decision. Who you got, Bryson?
Guys, I know this isn't like a crazy fight, so you guys are probably wondering why we're breaking it down. I just think Vieira is the better MMA guy in general. It's not a fight where you're looking to put hella money on or anything. Meconico, though, he just didn't even show much. Like, even in the win in Brundage, a lot of people didn't think he won. I actually did, but it was really close. Meconico lands 2.61 significant strikes per minute on 43% significant strike accuracy. Very hesitant at times, which leads to his downfall. You saw the Ruzaboya finish. He got finished by Bangar Susarkayev as well. Bad takedown defense at 64%, which I don't think will help him here. I know people are a little hesitant with Vieira after he got knocked out by Bo Nickel, but he showed his durability, and I don't think McConaughey is bringing anything that Vieira hasn't seen before. And yeah, I know you're probably like, oh, it's only 1% takedown accuracy. Well, McConaughey likes to get in the clinch, and he's 75. Vieira has 75% takedown defense. He's not taking him down when he gets in the clinch. He's going to try to hold him up against the fence. So, give me Vieira decision and Vieira money line here. I think he just puts on a savvy veteran performance and ends up beating McConaughey on the scorecards. All right, guys, to open up our 6-fight main card, we got a heavyweight matchup between Marcus Buchecha and Ryan Spann. Buchecha's coming in at -150, and Ryan Spann's coming in at +125. Give me the dog here. I really like Spann at +125. He puts a really fast pace on you. It's his third fight at heavyweight. He got finished by Waldo Cortez Acosta, but oh my God, he couldn't have had a worse matchup to start his heavyweight tenure. And then he ends up coming against Lucas Bresky, finishes him first round. Spann's kind of like a Kevin Holland. You really don't know what to do or trust him. He throws a very clean 1-2, though, and great jiu-jitsu. He attempts 1.8 subs per 15 minutes. So hopefully he ends up not, trying to get in a jiu-jitsu match, because that's what Buchecha is known for. Buchecha's 5-2-1 to Spann's 23-11. Buchecha's been an elite BJJ guy. Gone in so many tournaments, has been an Olympic champion in jiu-jitsu, constantly chain wrestling, but he lands 2 takedowns per 15 minutes on an abysmal 16% takedown accuracy. You really can't trust Buchecha here, so give me Spann at +125. Who you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, it's going to be a good one. You, like Bryson said, he's kind of like, Spann is kind of like a Kevin Holland. You can't really trust him too much, but I watched Buchecha's last fight, and, he shows to lack speed when he's on the feet and have little to no cardio, guys. I've never seen, I know heavyweights fade fast, but I've never seen a guy fade in half a round. That's what you're going to get on the Buchecha side. And, he lands 1.07 or 1.70 significant strikes per minute, but only on a 49% significant strike accuracy. And, like I said, guys, he has probably one of the slowest hands I've ever seen. Spann on the other side, he's very dangerous in the first round, and he doesn't have the greatest takedown defense at 52%, but with how Buchecha shoots sometimes and he gets tired, he'll just pull guard, just sit there on his back, pull guard, and wait for someone to hop on top of him. And I do think Spann, if that happens, it's going to be bad news for Buchecha. So give me Spann money line and maybe Spann decision. I can see this one going the distance when everybody thinks there's going to be a finish, but I got Spann in this fight. Give me the dog money.
All right, guys. Next up, we got a really fun bantamweight matchup between Montel Jackson and Hani Barcelos. Jackson's coming in at -160, and Barcelos is +135. Give me Jackson here, and just want to let you guys know we're using BetMGM. I feel like I always forget that. But, the odds are subject to change from whenever this video is coming out. We're recording Sunday currently after the UFC Canada, so just want to give you a heads up. But the reason why I'm picking Jackson here, they call him Montel Quick Jackson for a reason. Guy's 33 years old, Barcelos is 38. I know he had a great year, beat Bain Tablet, beat Ricky Simone, beat Cody Garbrandt. He's stacking up the name value. Montel had to just fight Figgy, which he arguably won, by the way. If that fight wasn't in Brazil, I guarantee they would have given it to Montel Jackson. Montel's coming in at a 75.5-inch reach to Barcelos' 67. Montel has got some deadly KO power in his hands. Great movement, 61% significant strike defense. Pops out a very slick jab. And his takedown defense is at 67%, but if you watch his fights against Daniel, Marcos, and Figgy, he has a really good get-up game. I don't think Barcelos is going to be doing much damage, and I like that it's in the apex cage. Barcelos, excellent cardio, always pressing forward, great takedown defense at 87%. And like I said, he's fought some good competition, but I think Montel fighting Figgy, that would be Barcelos' best opponent, besides Umar, my bad, but guess what Umar did to Barcelos? Knocked his ass out. So don't try to, sugarcoat that. And I think Montel can do the same thing here, even though he hasn't looked great in his last two. I think he can come out and knock out Barcelos. So I'm going money line, and as a long shot, give me Montel knockout. Who you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, I like Montel Jackson a lot in this spot. I know people are going to be high on Barcelos, like Bryson said about his recent competition, recent wins. Barcelos, though, always changing levels to close the distance. Pretty good wrestler, and he does time his counter punch as well. But the always changing levels kind of scares me for him, especially against a guy like Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson has great speed in his hands, and he throws good teeps and body kicks. He also, on the Jackson side, lands 3 takedowns per 15 minutes on a 63% takedown accuracy. So MMA math doesn't work all the time, guys. But, I mean, either way, I think the wrestling's going to cancel out. And if it's on the feet, like I predict this fight is going to be, give me Jackson moneyline and Jackson KO on a long shot. And, yeah, let's go. All right, guys, next up, we have a bantamweight matchup between Davey Grant and Adrian Luna Martinetti. Davey Grant at a plus 105 dog and Martinetti at a minus 130 favorite. Guys, Grant, he throws a lot of kicks to all levels, and he lands 5.14 significant strikes per minute on a 44% significant strike accuracy, and he puts together combinations super well. On the Martinetti side, he shows to have decent durability. He does have slow movement, and, his reaction time is just not what it should be, I think, at this level. He does land 11.00 significant strikes per minute on a 65% significant strike accuracy. Those are a little skewed. He hasn't fought any super great comp in my opinion. He does have decent offensive grappling. I usually am not a big one on the older guys. You guys know me, especially being 40 years old. But Davey Grant's a dog, guys, and he has great jiu-jitsu. So I'm going to take a shot on the dog here at plus 105. Give me Grant moneyline and Grant decision. I just don't think Martinetti has the tools to beat him. Who you got, Bryson?
Also, give me Davey Grant at plus 105. I think the old dog shows the new dog. Martinetti's only had one loss, and he's 30 years old to the 40 for Grant. But the way Grant always switches stances, he'll throw a left and right low kick so quick. Puts a fast pace on you, good pressure, 55% significant strike defense. I mean, he's beating young guys like Ramon Tavares, which I think that one was a wider gap than what this fight is. Martinetti, I saw some of his regional tape. And like Joey said, these stats were skewed because he only fought Vologdin, which, hey, that was a draw. And by the way, I thought Castaneda definitely won that fight, even with the point taken, just kind of like Evelev Murphy. Martinetti, though, throws good elbows up close, shows to have a nice Muay Thai clinch, lands 3 takedowns per 15 minutes on 42% takedown accuracy. Grant does have bad takedown defense at 63%, but when you're coming up against a guy with 42% takedown accuracy, I don't think you got to worry. Grant has some decent jiu-jitsu, like Joey said. He does leave his chin in the air at times, but Martinetti, Vologdin has a chin now, I can't lie, because even the Castaneda fight showed that. This past weekend in Canada. But Grant getting subbed by Jourdain, like I said, Jourdain's fighting these old guys, which, hey, a lot of people thought Phillips beat Jourdain, but because it was in Canada, they gave fucking Jourdain the fight over the boy Phillips, the American. But I think in the Apex especially, I know Martinetti's fought there before, I just think it's going to be tough for him. And I think Grant will hit some teep kicks, he'll hit to the body to just kick him up against the fence, put some combos, got some counter punches. I just think Grant edges it out on a decision here. I think Martinetti's tough, and he'll be a decent UFC prospect, but he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
All right, guys, we're breaking down the featured fight of the evening. A lightweight matchup between Rafa Garcia and Alexander Hernandez. Garcia at a plus 120 dog, and Hernandez at a minus 145 favorite. Guys, Hernandez, he's been in a little bit of controversy recently. He flipped totally from a big favorite to a plus 2 dog day of. There was some reports of him having an injury that got leaked. He does have a very wide stance, and he goes off balance a lot. He has solid takedown defense at 73% and likes to work on the outside. On the Garcia side, very sharp boxing, times his overhand right super well, and great head movement with 61% significant strike defense. And he throws some pretty nasty elbows in the clinch. At this point, I really like Garcia, especially with the news of Hernandez maybe coming off a potential injury. I know people just like to say things sometimes, but the odds kind of showed that the day of when the fight got canceled. So I really like Garcia in this spot, especially at dog money against a guy like Alexander Hernandez. He does have some pretty good wins, but I mean, I just can't see him winning here a lot. So give me Garcia money line and Garcia by decision. Who you got, Bryson?
I also like Garcia at plus 120. I think it's a great deal here. You got Hernandez coming off a 2 finish streak, so Vegas is kind of liking him a little here. He fought a 40-year-old Diego Ferreira who retired, and then he fought Chase Hooper, which unfortunately didn't age well. That's our boy from Enumclaw, Washington. But losing to Lance Gibson Jr. in Seattle, I mean, that was tough. So we saw Chase doesn't really have a chin, unfortunately. But Garcia lands 4.31 significant strikes per minute on 45% significant strike accuracy. Actually shows to have some solid jiu-jitsu, too. He has a decent guillotine if he gets taken down, which I don't think Hernandez will do. And like Joey was saying, he keeps that wide stance, gets off balance a lot. Literally, before Diego Ferreira, that fight, during it, he was doing nothing till he hit the counter to knock him out. He's just on the outside, and I don't like how his right leg's always out. And like Joey said, apparently there was an injury with the line movement. We really don't know what it was. It could be the foot, it could be the hand, because he's kind of turning relatively quick. Hernandez throws some clean low kicks. I'll give him that. Got some nice power, times his counters well. And he has a good gas tank on him, but so does Garcia. Garcia has that sharp Mexican boxing. Comes out very aggressive. I know he hasn't fought the great competition, but I really think Garcia, and especially in the Apex, I can't remember the time he fought in that last time. He fought Vince Pichel in Mexico, and I forget his last fight, but I think it was also at Noche, and he fought in the bigger cage. So now he gets a smaller cage where he can close the distance. And I believe Garcia's training with Cub Swanson as well, and I'm really like what's coming out with that camp lately. So I think Garcia's going to come in with a smart game plan here, mixing some takedowns at the end of rounds, and it might be close on the feet, but he's going to steal him with the takedowns and just keep that pressure forward. So give me Garcia at plus 120. I think it's great value for him, especially off a guy who's fighting some shaky comp the last 2 fights. All right, guys, we got the co-main event of the evening. We got a bantamweight women's matchup that will probably set the next contender besides Kayla Nunez, the winner of that. We got Norma Dumont, who's long overdue, versus Jocelyn Edwards, a woman who's on her 4-fight win streak, 2 subs, 2 TKOs. Dumont's coming in at minus 200 and Edwards at plus 170. Guys, I'm shocked the odds aren't wider. I think Dumont should be minus 500. The level of competition she's fought with Caitlin Vieira. I'm blanking on her after that, but Jermaine Durandamy and then Idris Aldana. So we're going Dumont minus 200. So we're a 3-leg for you guys, and this is great value. We're giving you Pilastri at minus 225. Second leg, we're giving you Jackson at minus 160. And third leg, we're giving you Norma Dumont at minus 200. Dumont cuts the cage off well, great footwork, times her low kicks very well with the combos after that. She does keep her hands low, but she attacks at odd angles to get you. She lands 3.89 significant strikes per minute on 50% significant strike accuracy, and she pops out a very calculated jab. I like her fight IQ, I like who she's fought. Jocelyn might have more fights, but the level of competition's night and day here. Give me Norma Dumont. Edwards, though, she's tough. Really good clinch. Like I said, 4-fight win streak, 2 subs, 2 TKOs. But, guys, she just TKO'd Nora Cornoli. She arguably beat her the last fight anyways. And besides that, Edwards' best comp was Alan Perez. And then ready for this stat, Edwards hasn't won a decision since 2023. Yeah, if this goes all the way, Dumont's going to win a clear 30-27, I think, on her. So give me Dumont here. Who you got, Joey?
Yeah, guys, I love Jocelyn Edwards. Bet on her last couple fights, but like Bryson said, she hasn't really fought any real killers, and she does have pretty poor head movement. 50% significant strike defense, which is all right. And she does land 1.43 takedowns per 15 minutes, but only on a 40% takedown accuracy. Like Bryson said, she's also really good in the clinch. But on the Dumont side, lands 1.56 takedowns per 15 minutes on a 56% takedown accuracy. And I really like her awareness in the cage a lot, especially being in the apex, a smaller cage. She likes to check her low kicks, which is going to be really prevalent here because Edwards does throw those a lot. And her takedown defense is really good, Dumont at 68%. I just got Dumont here. I love Edwards, especially at dog money. I just think it's a little bit quick of a step up for her, especially after what she's done. I think, they're like, okay, we're done with you, Edwards, as far as like giving you easy competition. We're going to really try to make you take a step up here. And I think it might be a little too quick for Edwards here. So give me Dumont money line and Dumont decision, especially with the stat Bryson said. All right, guys, we got the main event of the evening. A featherweight matchup between Aljamain Sterling and Yusuf Zalal. Sterling at a plus 140 dog and Zalal at a minus 170 favorite. Guys, I think these odds are a little bit skewed and messed up. Sterling, former champ, finds his range super well. Great defensive grappling and does good on reversals and has some tricky jiu-jitsu. Zalal, he puts together some clean combos. He also has high-level BJJ, and he lands 2.17 takedowns per 15 minutes, but only on a 32% takedown accuracy. Super aggressive on the ground, and, he's pretty good down there. But against Sterling, a guy with great top control, very heavy on top, and pops out a clean jab, lands the clean low kicks over and over again. I'm going to have to go with the dog money here. I just think they're disrespecting Aljo a lot. And I think the UFC, especially with Aljo being on Ariel Helwani, saying like, hey, I've been waiting for a fight. They're just trying to give him like an up-and-coming guy. But I think it's too quick again with like the Jocelyn Edwards for Zalal. So give me Sterling money line and maybe Sterling decision. I don't know how Zalal is a favorite here, guys. I'm just kind of dumbfounded. But give me Sterling moneyline and decision. Who you got, Bryson?
I also agree here. Give me Aljamain Sterling at plus 140. I mean, he has great defensive grappling and good reversals, like Joey said. We saw that in the Mozvar Evelev fight. And I see a lot of people saying he washed Calvin Kattar, and then he fought a washed Brian Ortega. I mean, Ortega went 3 with Lopez now. Lopez is a finisher. He didn't finish him. And then Kattar, okay, if we're going to say Kattar was washed at UFC 300, what about Zalal fighting him in the Apex cage as a co-main event? Zalal got gassed in the third and then got beat up in the third. I think 4 and 5 are guaranteed for Sterling, if I'm being honest. Maybe Zalal steals one, but if you're telling me Sterling won't win 1 and 2, I mean, I just think Sterling edges out a decision. I like his significant strike defense, too, at 60%. He has great footwork. He showed that against Ortega because Ortega, he had that scary fall in the medical thing. I'll give him that. But Yusuf Zalal fought Emmett. I think finished him first round or second round on that pay-per-view. I think it was first, though. But if so, I mean, look at what Vallejos just did. It's not like that aged well. Either did Kattar after Sterling. I mean, at least Kattar did better against Sterling than he did Zalal. Zalal's cardio is very questionable, I think. I mean, I saw that in the Kattar fight. And then he's finishing these guys early. We really don't know what he looks like 4, 5, 3. I mean, we saw what he looks like 3. It's not too good. Zalal lands 3.03 significant strikes per minute on 51% significant strike accuracy, 67% significant strike defense, which I'll give him. I mean, he's fought Topuria, but that was Topuria before Topuria, and he got cut. And then he came back, finished some people on the regional scene, boom, came back in. But I think Aljo, fighting guys like Sean O'Malley, Calvin Kattar, Mozvar Evelev, who's getting a title shot next, Brian Ortega, you got TJ Dillashaw. I mean, Sterling's fought the cream of the crop for me. He does have poor takedown defense at 45%. I didn't write Zalal's, but I'm almost certain it's just as bad, actually. It's not a great number, but Zalal's very aggressive on the ground. I'd say he's more aggressive than Sterling. I'll give him that, but Sterling has such great defensive grappling. He trains with guys like Murav Davashvili, and Dean Thomas is a great coach, and I just think he got a lot of good guys around him with Ray Longo as well up in New Jersey. So give me Sterling moneyline at plus 140 and give me Sterling decision. I think this fight goes the distance, and I think it starts around 3. Those would be plays I'm looking at, so over 2.5, over 1.5, over 3.5. I think this goes long, and I think Zalal's only going to get weaker as the fight goes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Rain City MMA. We appreciate all your support. Like, subscribes, comments. We release these videos for you every week for a reason. We're going back to back this week with another 3-leg parlay. First, let's cook it up with Pilastri at -225. Next leg, give me Jackson at -160. And lastly, give me Dumont at -200. Guys, we'll see you at the cash counter, and we're going back-to-back this week. We promise. Let's go.
And please like the video, guys. I'm seeing we're starting to get up there again with the views, like 70 plus, 80, 86 plus right now. Please just take your time, click that little like button. If not, leave a comment. We love you guys regardless, and we're trying to put money in your pockets.